Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Arti Solanki, a business coach, real estate broker, entrepreneur, passionate about helping women achieve success with clarity and confidence. On this channel, we dive deep into the empowering conversation, expert insights, and inspiring stories that fuel personal and professional growth. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Lisa Piper. Lisa is the owner and founder of Natural Living Organic Food Co-op and Café, and she is here to share her journey, knowledge, valuable tips with us, and get ready to get an insightful discussion. And make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you will never miss an episode. So let's get started. Welcome, Lisa. I'm so glad that you came, and we are excited to hear your story.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to share. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and how this whole story started.
So, actually, my background degree, I'm not even using or applying here. I have kind of a variety of things I've done as that happens, right? I have a
Yeah.
degree in sign language interpreting and did that for years. Then I also merchandised for a couple of big companies, Polar Ralph Lauren and, Hanes and some of those before I finally found my passion, as they say, right? So I had my own, as we do, our own health journey, right? My own health and wellness journey, which obviously guided me even more. And I realized the more I went down that journey, how passionate I was about helping others too and sharing health and wellness. So that's how I ended up with, an organic food co-op. I really
Wow.
like community. That is more of what I want to do, share community, helping others, right? I'm also an herbalist. And so taking all the things that I've studied and pouring it into this, it all kind of funnels together, right? And then
Mhm.
I'm raw food chef and health coach. I do nutritional consults, kind of a variety of things that I do. But again, what has fueled me here is my own background, my own getting there, right? Getting well,
Mhm.
and then finding out that that's what lights me up because that's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the key.
It's all about finding your own path and journey in life because I feel like, everybody has that calling and you have to hear that and you have to understand that calling and move forward with that. And that also brings you, like you said, so much joy doing the work, but
Yeah.
it still doesn't seem like work because you are
Right.
actually loving,
Yeah, I think
right?
that's it exactly. And that is the whole key is that it's a lifestyle, right? It's what I choose to do with my life. That way it doesn't feel like there's work in there, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
I work hard if you want to just label that, but I love what I do. So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though I was told
Yeah.
along the way by quite a few, you can't do that. No. My gosh, how many times I heard that in the way. Yeah, but see, I'm so fueled. Get out of my way. I'm like a Mack truck because I'm going. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes, I hear you. Yeah, I feel the same. So I totally get what you're saying. That's great. So I understand that you had a health issue, and that's what actually led you to this journey. So would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I kept having problems with my health, didn't know what it was. I mean, it really started right after my second kiddo was born and, decades ago. And I was having so many problems with inflammation. And I felt like I was, 31 going on 90 in my body. That's how my body felt. It was so inflamed all the time. I was down all the time. I had herniated discs all the time. No one could figure out what was going on. I was having so many in and out of the hospital for one reason or another. It was just bizarre. Kidney stones and then this and then that. And I kept thinking, this isn't right. This is not supposed to be how it goes, right? And so, at first, like everyone else, you go to the doctors, you listen to what they say, they send you to a specialist and you bounce around. And after a few years, you're like, no one's really coming up with anything. And I'm pretty sure I feel like it's this or that. So I started doing my own research and reading and poring over medical journals, right? And found out that I have celiac disease. And that has
Mm.
what, changing my diet, right, greatly gave me back my energy, gave me a reduction in all that inflammation. I actually came back to life. It was amazing what that really
Right.
spurred. Then I realized, most people with an autoimmune disorder like celiac disease, then it dominoes and you get another one and another, and Hashimoto's thyroid come, all the things just happen. But I realized that my body's so sensitive, I'm not going to do well with all the conventional ways. So I'm taking my own path at it. And my own path was so much more supportive, so much better, that I
Mm.
would check in then with doctors occasionally because I need lab work or some testing done. Can't do that myself. And I would check in with them and they would be like, why aren't you on this and this? You should be on these 10 meds, but I'm not, and I'm doing fine and managing it. How is that? That's how.
Right,
I
right.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. So you have been doing this for a while now. It's not like almost, I'm guessing, a decade or two that you've been doing this.
Yeah, almost 2 decades. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you start with a small, right? It snowballs. So I started literally with two little ones in my lap and $10 in my pocket, literally. Thankfully, I was in a place that first year that I could take everything that I brought in and invest it back, right, for a year. So I could kind of build it a little bit. And I knew that I started out like I'll set up at farmers markets and sell my wares and talk to people and teach people things. And then before you knew it, I was like, I'm gonna have a space. It's gonna happen. I want to bring together the community of farmers who grow the good food for us and all the things, right? And it just snowballed from there. So,
That is so awesome because I myself like grow organic food. And I this year I have I bought the all the herbs pack seeds, so I'll have like multiple different kinds of herbs that I've never tried before.
right,
So I'll be growing those this
right.
year, and I'm a big fan of growing your own organic food. I love it.
Yes,
It's a lot of
yes.
work, but it's something I
Yeah,
love it, so I do it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
right.
I will definitely need your guidance as far as what herbs does what, because like I said, I this is the first time I'm growing like variety of herbs and I have zero clue
Yeah,
what it's going for.
right.
So we'll see
Yeah,
how that
that's what I love. Love helping people with all of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's none of this just sort of came naturally overnight. It was definitely a
yeah.
build everything step by step, learn everything like you. Okay, let's get the seeds. Let's try something new. And what does that look like? Play around with it. Oh, I like that, right? Add to it. That's kind of how I did my own journey, right? Of learning it all. Only I went at a fast pace for myself in learning because it fascinated
Mhm.
me. Health and wellness fascinates me, the human body, right? The more conversations I'd have with people, the more I'm like, wow, if you do this and this, it might really help. And they'd come back, oh my God, what else do you have, right? That's how it goes,
Mhm.
you know?
Right, right. Yeah. Besides the herbs, you also do cooking classes and you teach people healthy cooking, right? The way
I,
should be eating clean. So how do you do
yeah.
that? Is it like an online, on-site? How do you help people with that?
Definitely in person, on site. I spent probably 10 to 15 years, probably at least 10 to 12 years teaching kids. That's where I started. We did homeschoolers. So I had a variety of ages in there. And I would do the little guys together, ages 2 to about 6. And then I would do the ages 5 and up together. And
Mm,
because I thought that's where you start with kids,
yeah.
teaching them to change their palate from day one. Amazing. Teaching them the alternatives to the packaged things, and then also teaching them why the packaged junk on the shelf is not good for them and what it does, right? Education.
Yeah.
So I did
Yes.
that for years. And actually, my own kids, obviously, because we homeschooled for a while there while I was doing that, and my own kids would learn, right? And as they would grow, they were like, Mom, we want more. We want more. And so I used to do like kids' overnight cooking class campouts and they did all sorts of things. And then I started incorporating more community in there and building in there because I realized very quickly kids don't always like to get along and they cranky and different ages and right. So then immediately I went, now we're going to do some team building games, right? And they loved it so much, they didn't want me to stop after years. My kids graduated. I saw those kids grow up and graduate, and they were like,
Oh,
"Are we going to do more? Let's do one." You know. And then I had adults
oh,
ask
it-
me, right? So
oh,
adults would ask, and I would do, like, here's a course of a week long. Come every night. We're doing this theme. You're going to learn that, and I would focus on the basics. I then
yeah.
about
Yeah, pretty
10,
much like
11 years.
yeah, I was gonna say, is it pretty much like a clean, healthy cooking style, or is it like a vegan cooking, or what kind of a cooking is this?
So when I teach cooking classes, especially to kids, I want to teach them the whole gamut. And so I do focus on, I would say allergen friendly, but really anti-inflammatory because that's important to learn,
Mm,
right? So we would include meat, we would include some dairy, and I would teach them raw is going to be better. Your body can't usually process this. And we would learn all sorts of, because it's important that they know the basics. So here's an example: how to process and cook a whole chicken. That's an art a lot of people have lost. They don't know how to do that. They just know go and buy it already done. Or here are the legs, I don't
mm,
know, do something with it on a tray. So I made sure every one of my kids, before they finished, every one of my students could do those basics. And then I also taught them basics like how to soak dry beans, overnight. How long do you soak
mm,
them before you cook them? How long do you cook them? Now they're ready. How do you test them? So things like that,
right.
grains, how you can soak them to a sprout, get a little more from them nutrition wise. So I taught them some of those basics so that there was no need for a can, a jar, a box, so that they all
Mm,
knew
yeah,
that level. And then also
like a
it was
fresh
about teaching
cooking.
fresh cooking. 'Cause it was all about incorporating vegetables and fruits and getting their taste buds used to trying something different, right? It's all
Yeah,
about changing
and
the taste
adding
buds.
herbs to it too, as I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would
Yeah,
teach pairing of this herb and this flavor with this, right? And then we
right.
would sit like I would say tonight we're doing carrots. And they're like, that's all we're doing. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do them 7 or 8 different ways, and you're gonna learn the different styles: steaming, baking, cooking. And then also you're gonna learn different flavor. One carrot, what's it taste like? Well, if you put the Asian 5 spice on it, it tastes like this. And African Burby spices taste like this. And oddly enough, none of them had ever heard of these exotic spice blends, right? They tried them and they all went, You know what? They love the African Burby. Who
Wow.
knew? Introducing them to new ideas, right? And new flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so I understand that you also took part in the contest on the Food Networking channel, which is the guys' grocery games. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that. That's pretty exciting. I feel like, wow, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
It's kind of funny because I had a friend of mine who was like, hey, there's this food contest going on. I think you'd be great about it. It's just making comfort foods healthy. You'd be good. Here's an interview. She didn't tell me what it was for. It wasn't till I was 3 interviews in that I found out it was Food Network and Guy's Grocery.
Oh,
He said,
wow.
well, Guy, when Guy says this, Guy Fieri, and I went, well, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Really nervous because it was 11 different interviews you go through before you get on. And so then I got nervous for a couple of interviews. And then after that, I was like, they're not going to pick me. And I got very relaxed. I was like, you know what I do with food? It's very different. And they're like, I know, we like it. Then all of a sudden, they're like, here's your ticket. You're on. Okay.
Wow.
So it
How
was
exciting
it
is
was like
that?
a New Year's Eve, kind of here's how you get healthy for the new year episode. And it was so much fun. Yeah, it was. I
Yeah. Yeah.
really enjoyed just going and having fun. It's funny because Guy kind of lined everybody up at 4 a.m. Why are you here? Why are you here? I'm listening to
Mm.
that I'm competing with. I have 3 restaurants and I'm about to open my fourth. I'm going to show everybody how good I am. And I got someone else who's like, I just, went to the culinary arts school in, France. And I'm going to show people what I can do with food. And I'm sitting here going, you're saying this to Guy Fieri. You know that, right? Like, he's up there. And I literally said, I feel like the preschooler here for the college grad exam. But I am literally here to just have fun and push my own self to see what I can do for myself. And he stopped everything and he said, that is why you're here. because we wouldn't
Yeah.
choose you guys if we didn't know your bio. We just want you to go have fun,
Yeah,
push yourself.
I was just about to say that. That is what it counts. That you push yourself, and it doesn't matter who you
Yeah.
were competing with, but you
Yeah.
were there. So that shows the
Yeah.
courage, and that's how you grow, right? So
Exactly. It
that's
was like, I'm
fantastic,
going
and
to
I'm
step
really
outside.
happy for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I stepped outside my comfort zone, tried something totally new, and went, I can do this. Just go, just do it. And I did
Yeah,
okay. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This is such an inspiring and fascinating story because women tend to be a little intimidated and a little scared when it comes to going out of their comfort zone. And we always struggle with like, what if I don't succeed? What will people say? What will how I don't like doing this. They have 1,000, we all do, and we all have 1,000 thoughts before we take that step. And taking a leap is so important. And this is a great example for it that you went from dealing with your own health situation, and from that, you took your journey path all the way. I mean, like, you just skyrocketed. This is your
yeah.
second, you've been doing it for 20 years now, and you growing, you flourishing, and you are guiding other people and teaching everybody how to eat healthy, how to teaching about the herbs and everything. This is amazing, and I really like this is because when we get guests in our on our podcast and they bring all these stories, and I always say that we should learn from each person that comes on my podcast. I feel like I learn something new every time. And like you said, like pushing out of your comfort zone, you took your problem into a success roadway because what you had, your health issue, from that you wanted to do something differently. And from that you grew one business to another, and you added things to it and you layered up, right? So you layered up your business. That way you're not just at one stop, you're layering. So you're giving people more than just one thing. You are giving them,
Hmm.
you're teaching them herbs, you're teaching them cook, you're teaching them you're a food coach. So you're doing like so many different things, a variety of things. And it's really inspiring. And I really glad that you joined us to share this story. And we're going to add all your information to our description in the podcast so people can reach out to you. And if they want to, have cooking class from you, or like me, we're growing new herbs and we need to know what we're growing, then reach out to you for that. And, would you like to give a word of wisdom to our audiences before we go?
I think the biggest thing for me has always been that I don't necessarily listen to the no's, you can't, that'll be hard, don't do it that way, because the way I structured everything
Right.
was very different, in my own business and
Yeah.
my own path. Very, very different. I literally, we have a staff, and once a month we sit down and have meetings, and we're the board. And I listen to their feedback. So they have input, and everyone said, don't do that. It'll be a nightmare. They'll undermine you. And I'm like, no, this has been the best experience. So the reason why I say that is that sometimes we know within ourselves, we have a vision, right? And we know what feels right. And we're fueled by some idea. But if we listen to everybody else telling us, no, it's never been done before, don't do that. Well, where are we going to get with that?
Yeah.
So the thing for me, the takeaway has always been going back to listen to my own inner voice, listen to that. How do I feel about it? And keep my own vision, because I know I have it for a reason and I'm going forward. So come with me or stay out of my way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Bravo. Well said. Well said. And thank you again for joining us and sharing your story. I hope our audiences have learned something from this story and got inspired, and they take a leap. If they're looking into a journey like you, if they are looking into being a herbalist or a food coach or, cooking classes, I hope this story inspires them.
Yeah.
And thank you all, the audiences, for clicking in, and share us your comments. And if you have questions, share those out. And I'd be happy to answer. Or if you have a question for Lisa, please send it in the comments and she'll be happy to answer as well. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Mhm.